Welcome to Smell of Page. Chapter 17. Why was Keshadev so interested in the treasure box and the mohurs? Govind asked himself again and again. He was in two minds. Was their guest trying to steal the box, or was he being unnecessarily suspicious of his father's friend? In spite of the nagging doubt, Govind was determined not to give away the secret. But he knew that sooner or later Keshadev would want it out of either Gopal or Munna. In the circumstances, it was best to hand the mohurs over to Goguldas for safe custody. Govind decided to take them out of the treasure box, but Keshadev was shrewd enough to stick to him like a leash. He never left him alone. Even at night, he slept next to him. If Govind got up, he would get up too. Govind was so troubled. He told Bola again, "Look, I spoke to you about Keshadev earlier, but I'm telling you again, please keep an eye on him when I'm not here." Bola nodded absent-mindedly. He was the only servant they had now, because they could not afford to engage anyone else. He was busy the whole day. Early in the morning, he climbed the neem tree to pluck twigs for everyone to brush their teeth with. Then he drew water from the well, swept the house, and helped Rukmini with cooking and shopping. Late one night, Govind found him repairing the wall of the well. "Why do you work so hard, Bola? At this rate you will fall ill." But Rukmini was annoyed with Bola, in spite of all the hard work he put in. "Bola may work hard," she complained, sniffing, "but he is dishonest and a cheat." "Bola a cheat? It can't be, Amma," Govind protested. "That's what you think. Bola does the shopping and overcharges me for everything. He even stole the spices I had saved in the earthen pot on the kitchen shelf." She turned to Bola and demanded, "What did you do with the money?" "Nothing," Bola mumbled. "You eat what we eat. I had new clothes made for you last month. If you want anything, you have only to ask. Then why do you steal, Bola?" "I didn't steal the money," Bola muttered, looking quite embarrassed. "I didn't steal the money," he went on repeating. Govind just could not bring himself to believe anything against Bola. But then, why was he not giving a straight answer? Why did he act so cagey? He was most irritated when Keshadev too chipped in with the remark, "So Bola isn't what I took him to be." "Let Bola be," snapped Govind. "I'm sure he isn't dishonest." A few days later, one morning they found that Keshadev had disappeared. He was nowhere to be seen. "Good riddance," thought Govind. But the children and Rukmini were sorry he had gone. "He was such a nice man and so helpful," she said. "I wonder why he left without telling us." Now that Keshadev was out of the way, Govind lost no time in climbing the neem tree to get the mohurs. He thrust his hand into the hollow. There was a look of utter dismay on his face. The treasure box was empty. "The mohurs are gone. I'm sure that chap Keshadev has taken them," he shouted. Everyone rushed to the courtyard and looked up at Govind. He slowly climbed down the tree. His face was drawn and haggard. The only savings his father had thoughtfully hidden in the treasure box were gone. He had no doubt that Keshadev had stolen them. He turned to Gopal and Munna and asked them sadly, "Did you tell Keshadev about the treasure box?" "I didn't tell him. Munna did," Gopal said nervously. "Did you, Munna?" Munna started crying. "He promised me sweets if I told him, but he went away without giving me any." Govind controlled himself with an effort. There was no point in blaming the child. He was too young to understand. "The mohurs are safe, Bhaiya." Govind was startled to hear Bola utter those words. He spoke so calmly, so coolly. "The mohurs that Bada Sahib hide in the treasure box are safe. repeated Bola, speaking in measured tones and smiling at the same time. How do you know about the Muhurs? Govind asked. I didn't tell anyone. I overheard you and Kesha Devji talking about the Muhurs hidden in the treasure box. I looked into the hollow while plucking neem twigs and found a cloth bag. I took it down and found the Muhurs inside, so I hid them. Where did you hide them? Why didn't you tell me you had found them? They are safe with me, Bola replied. They may not have been safe with you. But where are they? Govind asked impatiently. Bola went inside without a word and returned with a small hammer. He tapped the portion of well he had repaired. The stones came loose, leaving a small hole. Out of it, Bola pulled a small dusty cloth bag. He shook the bag and they heard a jingling noise. Here are the Muhurs, Bhaiya, Bola said, handing him the bag. Govind opened the bag and found the shining Muhurs inside. He was overwhelmed. Rukmini, he knew nothing of the Muhurs, asked, What's this? Where did you get the Muhurs, Bola? Govind did the explaining. From the beginning, I didn't trust Kesha Dev. We would have lost the Muhurs but for Bola. Rukmini was puzzled. You mean to say Kesha Dev left suddenly because he didn't find anything in the treasure box? No, it wasn't like that, Mataji. It was Bola's turn to clarify. He found a cloth bundle, heavy with coins. The copper coins and a few pieces I had collected were in that bundle. He took it thinking the Muhurs were in it. I owe you an apology, Mataji, for the way I overchanged you while shopping. I'm sorry still for taking the coins from the earthen pot. But I needed those coins. I was sure that if Kesha Devji didn't find anything in the cloth bundle, he would be suspicious. He might have stayed on till he found the Muhurs. But copper coins don't look like Muhurs, Jagannath pointed out. How did Kesha Dev get fooled? Because he didn't look carefully. He was in a hurry and it was dark. He must have felt the cloth bundle and taken the contents to be Muhurs. Bola, said Govind, warmly embracing him. Kesha Dev was a clever crook, but you managed to outwit him. I'm sorry, Beta. I mistrusted you. I should have known better, said Rukmini, patting him on the back. Bola blushed a deep brown. The family's fortunes had turned. Tara was married to an eligible young boy. Soon afterwards, Govind brought his wife home from her father's house. Through hard work, he distinguished himself as a Vaidya, but he could never forget those exciting days of 1857. But he thought of his country's freedom was just round the corner, nor the pride that swelled in his bosom as he watched Bahadur Shah Zafar sitting on the ivory throne in the palace courtyard. But his mind was filled with such sweet but bitter memories. Govind often walked up to the front gate and stood gazing at the setting sun. On one such occasion, he heard a soft voice singing a plaintive melody. As the voice came closer, he could also hear the thrumming of the ektara. Govind listened intently as the wandering minstrel passed slowly by. He was so engrossed in the words and the music, he forgot to give him a few coins. Tears welled up in Govind's eyes as he felt the full impact of one of the most touching ghazals ever composed. The dying emperor, condemned to live in solitary exile in Rangoon by the British, had been denied one last wish. All he had wanted was to be allowed to return to his beloved country and be buried there after his death. O Zafar, the minstrel sang Bahadur Shah's lament. Thou art so accursed that thou cannot get even 2 square yards of land for burial in thy fatherland. With the soulful melody ringing in his ears, Govind remembered his father. All is not lost, he told his children and grandchildren as they sat around him listening wide-eyed to his account of the War of Independence. I have no doubt that you will see the day when our country is free and our flag flutters proudly over the ramparts of the Red Fort. From him the children hear with rapt attention of the brave fight of the Rani of Jhansi, with a handful of loyal followers had put up against the mighty British. Their eyes glowed with excitement and pride as he spoke of their grandfather and how he had died fighting for the Rani. They were never tired of hearing him talk of Abdul Aziz Khan, Mirza Yunus Khan, Anand Ram, Chindamani, and good old Selma B, who had died within a few months of their returning to Delhi. But of his own adventures on the ridge, Govind was too modest to talk. So the children had to pry the story out of him, every little detail of it. And did they love to hear Bola hold forth on how he had outfoxed Keshadev.